Hello friends, welcome to my Rolodex Let It Rain. So today I am making a Rolodex copying my pattern that I have made, and I'm making it a little taller today so I can do a little painting on it. And cutting it out. So I grab a sandpaper block and I sand the front and back of my Rolodex. So I just get all that sheen off, and I really sand it well, but you could just see a little stuff in the back, but I kind of left that. And decide to do both sides and not gesso it and just leave it like that and start working on it with that look. I really liked it. And when I do the back, I just like leave it blank so then I can write my information when I made it and what the title is and all that kind of stuff in the back. So I decided to do this one with a palette knife and just totally paint it all. So I'm using some gesso here and going across my card using Americana paints to paint my image. So what I decided to do was make a lady in a yellowish dress with a red umbrella, but I use a lot of different colors and blend it in a bit first. I start with the black and all that kind of stuff. So I just grab all the colors I think I need. Got some what was that, flesh tone there, and I just start making the legs there with my palette knife, as you can see. And it's not very, it's just abstract, very abstract, and that was the fun part about this card. So there's their arms, and then I just paint in my dress with the palette knife, going in with the yellow, and that's basically scraping down, pulling down the color, and just adding lots of different tones of the orange and the yellow. So I decided to put my camera on my light, so seeing how well that will work. So it's a little far, so hopefully this view will be good for you guys. You guys can let me know if you can see well enough. So I'm just kind of putting in some lighter colored white on top and just blending in, making the dress right now. And I'm thinking I'm grabbing, oh, what am I grabbing? More color. Yes, I need my cocoa brown for the hair. I decided to make it a little darker too, but I just kind of get my image going here. Put all my pieces together and then end up elaborating on what I need or what I feel at the time. So I'm just kind of putting some shading in with the brown and not worrying about it too much because I'm going to be going over and over and that kind of thing. Here's the black, and these are all Americana acrylic colors, and I used the black as a base of my umbrella. I wanted it to be red, but I didn't want it to be a bright red, so I wanted a black base. And here's going to actually add my red, and that's like a real red. That's what the color is called. And I like doing lots of layers, so I'm doing lots of touch-ups and lots of going over it and scraping on there, adding more color and depth. It's hard to see the light being so bright here, but this is some brown and white mix, trying to scrape it on so it's not blended, but it's like chunky. You can see that side a little bit better. And I want to look choppy in the background, like there's rain in the background and things in the background that we don't really see, but they're there. Adding a little bit of the red from the umbrella and the yellow and orange from the dress. And of course I go over a bit to cover it up a bit, and it's kind of back and forth till I like the color. And I'm just using my gesso to go for the white, mixing in for some little rain streaks and trying to get some of the streaks down. And sometimes I have to dry it up in between. It could get really mushy if I didn't. And each layer, even if I cover it up, you could see it kind of behind it and it looks really cool. So I'm not worried about how many layers I use. I just keep going until I like the tone. And just, you know, adding a little bit more white to the yellow, adding highlights on that dress. Can't really see it too well with this light on there, but that's what's going on. I do a little bit more shading with a water-soluble graphite after with my water brush, but for this bases I was just getting a little dark shading in there. There I'm adding a little black to the brown hair, making more wispy, adding a darker cream, darker brown with the skin tone, flesh tone, to get one arm a little bit darker. So it's just kind of touching up, which is really hard for you to see with the camera being so far away this time. I'll have to work on another plan. So now I'm just adding, I think, some whites here and there, reds. Just keep layering it up until I'm happy with the color. And I like to use whatever I have out there for the background, just touching it up in there a little bit. And here is that graphite. This is like a block of graphite, and I just shade under the umbrella in front of her, around her dress, and make it pop a little bit more, as you can see. And I think it looks really cute. It makes her pop a little bit more, the scenery pop, making a little bit of streaks in the background too here. And just, yeah, adding a little bit of depth into the picture with that, highlighting it or low lighting it, and it makes it just a little bit more better, a little more of a pop. Then I take my fine liner and I'm using my black pearl after that. And that black pearl has a bit of just liquid acrylic in it of black, and then I use that to write on the side. First I hand write like cursive, and I don't like it, so I wipe it off. It's just not what I wanted for that. And then I decide to print it on there, really stretch the writing, kind of the printing like drops, and then I make raindrops with all over with this black. And I use my Posca pen after to whiten out little highlight, white highlight on each of these drops, and even in the corners where the drops are on my writing or my printing. And I put a little under the umbrella to show the rim of the umbrella, but I think I missed videoing that, and that's it. And then there's where I'm going to put my Posca pen, do a little bit of highlights on the umbrella, just very low, you can barely even see from this distance on the dress, and then I do the little dots, highlights on the rain. And that is about it, I think. I do sketch a little around it, and get a little bit of the edge whitened up a bit. I think it looks like little drops, water drops, more of a reflection in the water drops when I add the white, so I really like that. Doodling my edges just a bit, and here I am just spraying some glossy sealer on there. I want it to look a little wet, and that's it. I hope you guys like this one. Bye.